We are New Year Day, the Great Blacks and Wax Open Forum. Today my guests are Ms. Bernadette Jones and Ms. Kathleen Young. Well, welcome ladies. Thank you for joining us. Ms. Bernadette Jones is the winner of the Miss Maryland Senior 2004 pageant. And my other guest is Ms. Kathleen Young, who is the state director of the Miss Maryland Senior pageant. And you folks at home, don't you go away. We'll be right back.
The fourth runner-up is Goldie Mae Pratt. Goes to Ann Hainsworth. The second runner-up goes to, where's the flowers? Goes to Nancy Matthew. Now, the first runner-up, I want to remind everybody that the first runner-up, should the Queen not be able to fulfill her duties, the first runner-up is the one who will perform those duties in her place. So this is also a very important position. And the first runner-up goes to Sam Klein. If Dr. Mott is ready to sing his self-queen, the winner of the Miss Maryland Senior America 2003 pageant is, you'll never guess, Bernadette Jones.
Now is your hour in the center.
Senior Maryland invites you to her reception in the
Well, welcome ladies.
Thank you.
And Ms. Day, how did you get involved in the Miss Maryland Senior pageant?
I was coerced. I have a girlfriend who is a director of a senior center, the Adams Center in South Baltimore. And for some reason, she's only been director about a year now. And these papers came to the center. Now in all these years, because I never heard of this before, and she said, Bernie, you got to get into that pageant, because they think I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I'm not. But anyway, I refused to come because she said, oh Bernie, please, please. So yes, I up and filled out those papers and sent them to Kathleen, and there was this big first meeting. And when I went to that, I said, well, I'm in. because that's when I cemented, the application, and there was a fee and all of that. So, once I get into something, I'm gonna stick it out to the end.
Okay.
So that's how I did that. Had no intention of winning or any of that.
So how did you feel when you won the contest?
Ecstatic and very, very surprised. But of course, we all have from our fellow contestants people who we think will win because they had so much going for them. And these it was 18 out of the 17 other women who were so friendly and supportive. And that just amazed me because I've gone on auditions and things where, everybody's afraid of who's going to get in and who's going to get the part. They just sit there, they don't share anything. These women, there were 2 or 3 that had been in the pageant, and they shared their experiences. It was great. I enjoyed it at the first meeting because it was in someone's house. That was Sonia. So, pageant director, who had us at her house. So served a repast and everything. You got to meet the ladies, and it was just terrific.
So what are your duties as Miss Senior Maryland?
Well, of course, the big surprise, and let's face it, I certainly do look at all of the pageants, mostly Miss World, Miss America. Well, with this one, I knew it wouldn't be bathing suit because they definitely would be running out of town. But I was judged, we were judged on our philosophy of life, interview with the judges, your talent, and your evening gown. The most difficult thing for me, which really I almost was ready to drop the ball, is the time frames. Our philosophy of life could only be 35 seconds. Being a public speaker and also an actress, I don't get started after 35 seconds. Your talent could only be 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Now, I do the electric slide with the Maya Angelou's poem. So my big difficulty was to do that in a time frame.
Okay, so we have a clip of that, so let's see what your talent was.
Contestant number 10, Verna Day Jones. Verna will be dancing to the electric slide. You only have to stay seated though. And she's going to be reciting Phenomenal Woman by Maya Angelou. So contestant number 10, Verna Day Jones.
The span on my hips, the stride in my step, the smile on my lips. Now, when I come into a room as cool as you please, oh honey, they just stand up or fall down on me. They fall around me like a hot dog, honey. real wrong. I'm Bernadette Jones, phenomenal.
Is that the best orchid slide you've ever seen? That was contestant number 10, Verna Day Jones.
Oh, Verna, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She had the crowd on their feet with her performance. She really did.
Also, as I said, we have Kathleen Young here. She's the state director for the Miss Maryland pageant. Can you tell us how the pageant got started?
Sure. Well, it got started back in the early 80s. For about 2 or 3 years, the pageant went on, and it took a break for quite a couple of years. Last year, the Baltimore County Department of Aging was looking to get it up and started again. So they agreed to sponsor it, and myself and a group of workers from the Baltimore County, we planned the pageant, and that's what we did. Last year, we had it at the Essex Senior Center. And then this past year now, when Verna was in it, we had it at the Abbey Senior Center in Baltimore County. So, and my understanding now is that Baltimore City will be sponsoring a new pageant, so we're excited for that.
So what is the criteria for becoming?
The criteria for it, you have to attend an orientation like Verna had told you about. You learn all about the pageant, what's involved in it. If you were to win, we let you know what's going to be required of you. You have to go to the national pageant, which is Verna and myself are going to be going in November to Las Vegas, so she can compete in the national pageant. You also go to dress rehearsals, a couple dress rehearsals, and then the day of the pageant, you participate in that as well.
And you have to be there at the crack of dawn too.
It's a very long day.
Yes, and all 17 of us have to go through those 4 categories. But you know, Kathleen, what was the hardest thing for me was, like all pageants, they have a grand number that all of the participants do. So we had this dance that we're supposed to do. Now I can do the electric slide, now I'm in it, and I can do some other little dances. But child, the brain and the feet just didn't coordinate with that dance. But anyway, we didn't get booed off the
No,
stage.
you did. We tried to jazz it up a little,
Yeah.
make an opening number,
Yeah.
have the ladies dance and introduce themselves.
Okay. One of my other questions is, as the reigning Miss Maryland senior, what would your duties be?
Well, of course, trying to publicize that a senior is a viable personality. And of course, I'll go representing them. And what I've been doing all along, because that's my forte, I go in senior centers and try to give them my philosophy, so to speak, on, you got to get out.
Well, can you share with us your philosophy that you that helped?
You're not being timed here now.
All right. Oh, that's a blessing. We all know that you have to take life as it happens. But sometimes you ought to try to make it happen the way you want to take it. Now, to do this, age is not a problem. All you have to do is develop your potential. Widen your horizon. Take risks and laugh. Not at others, but at yourself. Because let's face it, it's not only later than you think, it's sooner than you suspect. So you better start living.
Oh, that is wonderful. I agree with that philosophy as well. You never give up on your dreams.
Now, believe it or not, that philosophy comes from a full-fledged speech that I wrote entitled, "At the Pace She's Going." And that's why you have to get out here and motivate these people, because someone is always telling an elderly person who you are and what you can do and don't do. And my philosophy, as I said, is enlarge your horizon. Develop your potential. No one could have convinced me that I was going to get in a pageant.
Okay, Verna, we'll be right back. We have a few clips from that show. Let's go and take a look at that.
Please welcome Kathleen Young.
I want to sponsors for today. If it wasn't for our sponsors, we would not be having a pageant today. Our premier sponsor, once again, this year as it was last year, is Bath Fitters. And on behalf of Bath Fitters, Kathy McClellan, who's one of our judges, I'd like to introduce her to come up here, Kathy. And also, I'd like to introduce Charlotte Turner. She is the owner of Charlotte's Hairline, Inc., and it's located in White Marsh. She has also sponsored the pageant this year as well. Charlotte,
Hi, it's my business to make women more beautiful, but these ladies certainly don't get any help.
we appreciate it, Charlotte. Two other sponsors that couldn't be here. One is Prestige Caterers. This was their second year. They sponsored the luncheon that the contestants had earlier this afternoon. And also Catherine's Florist, who sponsored all of our flowers today as well.
Oh, that was great. Kathleen, that was a lot of work and preparation. How did you get it?
It's a year-round job, and Baltimore City will find that out. But it's just from the little details of getting a florist and a photographer, finding the venue, doing the publicity. Like Verna said, if that flyer didn't come across her director's desk, Verna would never have known about it, and she never would have been in the pageant. So it's things like that. We try and send advertising to the senior centers all across the state. We send them to the gyms and the fitness centers where seniors work out. All the local papers, all the state papers. So it's a lot of work. There was a great group of us that worked on the pageant year round.
There's a group of you that
There's a group of us, yes.
Every year?
Every year.
Well, Verna, I think you're an amazing lady. I always admired you and what you've been able to do and have been an inspiration to me, and that's all truth. And Kathleen, I thank you as well for promoting this kind of event and gives the seniors an opportunity to, show what they can do and share what their gifts that they have, the knowledge and experience. And for those of you out there in the audience who are interested in becoming Miss Senior Maryland, and you feel that you're talented, you can contact Kathleen. I am really excited about this. And how about you ladies out there?
And now contestant number 10, please welcome Verna Day Jones. Verna was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. After graduating from high school, she enrolled in acting classes, and I think she excelled. During World War II, she was detailed to Social Security Administration in Baltimore and retired 40 years later. She received many awards for volunteerism, and Verna was featured in a book entitled 16 Women Who Changed Theater in Maryland. In 1995, she won the Toastmasters International Area Speech Contest. Verna Day Jones.
We all know that you have to take life as it happens, but sometimes try to make it happen the way that you want to take it. Regardless of your age, develop your potential, widen your horizon, take risks and laugh, not at others, but at yourself. And remember, it's not only later than you think, it's sooner than you suspect. Two things I think helped me in this pageant. Number one, many years ago, during a segregated Baltimore, there were many African Americans, we weren't that then, who were entrepreneurs. And Victorine Adams and several others had their own shops. And I was a model for those women. And believe it or not, when I look back, when I came out in my evening gown, a bit of that thing was still here. And I modeled my gown rather than show it. So maybe that helped a little bit. And then again, I'm a motivational speaker. Problem was timing, as I mentioned, but maybe that helped. And of course, God was in it all, because He's the one who decided at 80, maybe this lady ought to have a warm fuzzy. And He gave it to me. I won the pageant.
called?
I haven't written. Marvin Loesch, who was a professor at Towson, wrote a book, Women Who Changed Theater in Baltimore. And believe it or not, I'm one of those women. 16 women who changed theater in Baltimore. That was a thrill too.
Pretty impressive.
Yes,
Really?
they had a reception for us in Towson, and many of the women, you know, like I know I'm not getting too familiar with them. I always need my papers and stuff in front of me, but that was quite a thrill. And the book sold for $14, and believe it or not, quite a few were sold, not for me, but for Towson and other venues. Yes. Plus, you know, years ago, I was the first Black woman to win the Toastmasters World Speech Contest. That was in 1975. I am a Toastmistress, not a Toastmasters. That's who gets all the publicity, because there is a Toastmasters group. And on my job at Social Security, at that time, I belonged to the Woodlawn Toastmasters.
Well, that's a new one for me because I was never aware that this Toastmistress was asked to be a part of Toastmasters.
Oh no, don't tell me that. You wanted to be where there were some men.
No, actually, I was approached, but you know, tell us
I'm
a
just
little bit
joking.
about the Toastmasters.
They're still in operation. I'm not actively participating. As the winner several years ago, you know, they still call me when they're having like installation programs and things. And it always, I guess they think it lends something to have a winner our way in this area.
Right.
But yes, that was a thrill.
I understand that you were one of the founders of Arena Players, which
Well,
is
now-
the oldest African-American community theater in the nation.
I'll tell you. Now, when you really want to get down to that, believe it or not, they don't consider me as an original. The Arena Players was started in 1953. I was in the first play, but somehow I must have missed, I didn't think I had, when the Heavenly Father sat down, dear Sam Wilson, and started the Arena Players, which don't make me mad. I know I've been with them 50 years and enjoyed every minute of it. And that's something else about this business of taking risks, expanding your horizon, because that was one of my greatest emotional outlets. And let's face it, and we didn't get paid, so you know it was worth something. But there again, 50 years, 80 I am, and you can bet in 80 years, as Langston Hughes said, life ain't no crystal stair. Enough said.
Well, Verna, that was great.
Thank you for inviting us. It was a great experience.
Yes.
It was my pleasure.
Appreciate it. It's a great opportunity for us to promote next year's pageant. I think we might get quite a couple great ladies just from watching the show today. So
Great.
thank you.
You've been great, wonderful, interesting guests. Thank you for joining us. That's it for today, folks. And I thank you for joining us at the Great Blacks in Wax Open Forum. My name is Margaret Locklear, and I'll see you the next time. As we close, we're going to leave you with some of the highlights from the Miss Senior Maryland pageant. And thank you for joining us.
And if you should survive to 105, think of all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part, you'll have a head start if you are among the very young at heart. Ladies and gentlemen, our contestants for
Thank you for joining us. And if you would like to be a guest on the Great Blacks in Wax Open Forum, call the number at the bottom of the screen. Join us. If you have an interesting anecdote to share with us, or if you have something you want to promote from your community, just give us a call.
You look so pretty, Margaret.
I'm so scared.
I know. But you see, if you stop, you really look beautiful, okay?